I grew up in the world of metal and punk, in which I still do love. I do feel the need to finally see what the rest of the world has to offer. My name is Aaron, and I grew up as a metalhead. Well, welcome back, everybody. This is it. The finale. The return to normalcy is after this. We are ending with Emptiness by Boa. This has been an amazing week. Again, I feel like that this is one of those groups that, this is one of the artists that I feel like, to me, is such a huge piece of history that it kind of makes me realize how fortunate many people in the K-pop industry are because of her efforts. I do think that I would put her very much as one of the greatest, if not the, of all time. Really good. Really good. Yeah, let's check out Emptiness and see how this all ends. Whoa. Wow. I think for as much as I can appreciate Baby Boa and her incredible reach to things, I think the one thing that I would have to say gives me just as equally amount of fascination is mature Boa. Mama Boa, Mommy Boa. um, Mainly because the fact is that for me, when now that she's kind of into this stage of her career, her ability to write in a mature way is so impressive to me. Just the way that she kind of poses questions in a very blunt way, but then, like, is this easy to leave me? But then you get all the lyrics, right? Acting like we feel the same, but we're hiding stiff smiles, yet still clinging behind exaggerations and stiff smiles. Yeah. Love is falling out every time. Don't need to push it. I know what you want to say. Every night, eyes averted, standing at the final stop of our journey. And I think the thing that I really like about it too is that she portrays it so well with her voice. I always think when you see someone like Boa, like Dio, like Chen, like, whoever, write songs like this, I always wonder how much of them they put into this. Because to me, when I'm listening to this song specifically, I think to myself, who hurt her? Why would she feel the need to write that? I assume that she writes her own music. I've gotten to the point now where I just assume that at this point most people in K-pop probably write their music. Sure, there's probably a few groups that when they start out probably not, but when you're 20, 30 years deep into your career, I'm pretty sure she probably writes her stuff or helps write. So my thought is, how how much of this is based on personal experience? And I think for me, that's kind of an interesting question, because to me, there's a lot of this in here that kind of really screams out, this happened. You know what I'm saying? I like the imagery of water in this, because to me, the very first thing that I thought of when I saw like a lot of the shots with water in this, my first thought was actually like, oh, you know what? This to me seems like the usage of water is kind of like a go with the flow kind of feel to it all. And I think that that's kind of an interesting way to go about doing things. Yeah. I think that's really cool. I really appreciate the imagery. I appreciate the mature writing. It's just something that I think, obviously, over time, she probably wants to experiment with something that's a little bit more mature, a little less frivolous in a lot of senses. And, I think that that's kind of what encapsulates this and makes this song so enticing. I feel like that there's some personal experience tied to this. So, anyway, what do we say about Boa? I mean, in all honesty, it's so impossible. When all is said and done, when I'm sitting here at the end of a 1-week club, 34, 30, or 21 to 24, 25, 26 videos, what's my overall impression? My personal impression and final thought for this week is kind of this. I think that Boa deserves all the flowers in the world. Her accolades, her ability to continue to innovate, her groundbreaking, trailblazing career was so necessary. I think the interesting thing is that a lot of her music was very different from a lot of other groups that we've had in One Week Club. A lot of it seemed like it didn't even feel like K-pop. Of course, again, you kind of have to say that she is, because without her, K-pop would basically not really exist in the state that it is. So I think there's a great appreciation for me that comes from this, because I had to, again, kind of challenge my perception of music. And to me, that's kind of the reason why I did this whole channel in the first place, is to basically challenge my perception of music. And again, there's kind of a line through, right, that kind of caused me to get to where I'm at. It started off with EXO. The very first song I ever heard from K-pop, technically speaking, in an intended way, was EXO's Wolf. And then, I went through a lot of EXO, pretty much everything EXO put out in video form that didn't get blocked. I have pretty much seen. Next was Big Bang. Now, the reason why Big Bang was so important to the channel was seeing this grittier, realistic feel behind K-pop. And, Top and G-Dragon really kind of stood out to me in that way, because they weren't just these squeaky clean. They had songs talking about regrets of partying so hard and having so many problems with, whatever they're going through. And obviously the controversies that surround certain members challenged me to think about music that in K-pop, it's not just this all pretty cute, girls talking about whatever. I don't know. And then, of course, that was the next thing, right? Of course, Dreamcatcher came in and defied all logic to me in incorporating metal elements into it, realizing that there is kind of a cooler dark side that's kind of mysterious. Then we have groups like SNSD that made me realize that the cutesy stuff can be super awesome and super in depth, but super cute and fun. And again, like I said, it's kind of become my kind of like a guilty pleasure. 21, challenging the concept of what you see in women in K-pop. Next, I would say probably is BTS. They challenged the idea of, a lot of stuff that I think about in K-pop. Then, with BoA, there's a lot that she did that challenged my perception of K-pop. And in a lot of ways, she's the, she's not quite like Seo Taiji, but I mean, she's pretty close. She's really, really kind of early into the game. And so seeing how that has all shifted and caused things to move because of a girl that had a dream and someone who saw the talent, and it paid off. And again, I love the challenge of my perception. And it's been a while since I've felt that pull. It has been a long time since I've had someone sit me down and say, this is how the music goes. And I'm not going to lie, there is kind of sometimes in this 1 week club that I was like, this isn't really exactly my style. But I have to admit, that's why I respected it, because that still went out there and did it proficiently. These songs still existed. And I have to admit, there's a couple times that I put songs out that I was like, oh, this is kind of one of my lesser favorites. And then I'd have people come and be like, this is my favorite song. And it blew my mind. Not because I'm like, how could you like it? But it's like, I want to understand why. That's the whole point behind this, is understanding why. And for me, BoA is, like I said, basically Wonder Woman in terms of K-pop. She is amazing. And I love that. And I love her journey. And I'm so glad to see this kind of realistic side of her that we see here in Emptiness. So that's kind of my everlasting thoughts. Is like, I always hate to try and like say like, oh, this person is the best, this group is the best. Because in a lot of senses, it's very subjective. I don't think I could say that about Boa. She has to be considered the best, if not one of the best, right? Top 2, 3. It's because of Boa. I don't know. The amount of respect that I have for Boa is immense, and something I don't think can be overstated. It's just how I feel. Thank you, Boa, for challenging my perception of music. Thank you, Boa, for making this, taking the risk, and honestly putting yourself out there in some pretty nefarious times and still sticking through it and becoming the person that you are. That's what I want to say. Thank you. The music is awesome. The dancing was incredible. Probably some of the best dancing that I've seen. I loved it. It's really cool. So, anyway, she is incredible. I don't think I can state that enough. Incredible. So, let me know what you think about Boa down in the comments. Let me know of what you think her biggest impacts are. Anyway, I guess this is the time. I've been stalling long enough. I always hate to do this. This is always the hardest thing. But thank you, everyone, for another wonderful one-week club featuring one of the most incredible. Thank you. We will see you in the next video. 1 week out.